This is Johari, a durian seller from Segamat. He authorized Raju, a lorry driver, to deliver a consignment of durian from Segamat to Pulau Pinang. Raju then started his journey to deliver the durian to Pulau Pinang. Unfortunately, on his way to Pulau Pinang, he was then stranded at Perak due to flood and all routes were closed for all vehicles. Consequently, most of the durians were started to wither and got cracks. Due to that, Raju thought that the durians will not be accepted by the buyer in Pulau Pinang, and this will cause loss to his principal, Johari. Therefore, due to emergency, Raju decided to sell the durians to Ahyi, the local fruit seller in Perak. This is necessary to protect the interests of the principal from suffering greater loss. If he just waited and delivered the rotten durians to Pulau Pinang, definitely the principal will get nothing because the durians will be rejected and not saleable. In this case, when nobody turned up to take the horse from the railway station, an emergency situation existed. The railway company had to look after the horse and sending it to the appropriate horse stable to look after it. This was actually done without authority from the principal. The railway company's authority was only to deliver the horse, not to look after it. However, for the sake of the safety of the horse and to avoid any loss to the principal, the railway company had to do that. Therefore, it was held that the railway company was an agent by necessity to the principal. What was done by the railway company was necessary during that emergency situation. Due to that, the principal is bound to pay for all the necessary costs spent by the railway company looking after the health and safety of the horse. An agent who can act as an agent by emergency must be the one whom being entrusted with the property of the principal. He must be the one who has been appointed by the principal to keep or to look after or to deliver the goods to certain destination. Due to that, if any emergency situation happens, this agent can act beyond his authority or without authority as an agent by emergency. Any other person who was not entrusted by the principal with his property cannot become an agent by emergency. The third condition for a valid agency by emergency is the agent must have tried to communicate with the principal. This is because by referring to Section 167 of the Contracts Act 1950, the agent must communicate with the principal to get further instructions during the emergency situation. However, if it was impossible for the agent to contact the principal during that emergency situation, then only the agent may act as an agent by emergency, as provided by Section 142 of the Contracts Act 1950. Therefore, due to that situation, it was necessary for the agent doing certain acts beyond or without authority to protect the interests of the principal. The agent was in necessity to do such act to avoid greater loss to the principal. Consequently, the principal is bound to such act or contract made by such agent. If the agent purposely or intentionally fail or refuse to communicate with the principal during emergency, there is no agency by emergency could happen. In that case, the agent is not a valid agent by emergency, and his act will not be binding upon the principal. In this case, it was held that the agent was not a valid agent by emergency. This is because, in the first place, the agent did not communicate about the emergency situation with the principal. Therefore, even though the agent had acted by emergency to protect the interests of the principal, the agent was not a valid agent by emergency due to their failure to contact or communicate with the principal.